and welcome to this episode of the Around the Block podcast. I'm your host, Dave Yornak, and I'm also the Director of Ecosystem Development here at TronDAO. Around the Block is just one more way that TronDAO continually seeks to engage with our community and is part of the commitment we have to our community's growth and our community's success. The Around the Block series really brings together blockchain and crypto leaders to explore the technical, strategic, and social aspects of our industry. And you can find Around the Block each week as it streams live on our DLive protocol and also on our TronDAO YouTube channel. Now, in case you're not familiar with DLive, it's one of the largest blockchain live streaming services where each person can become a broadcaster with their own channel. And today we have a very special episode of Around the Block. So what we're going to do actually is share with you an interview between the founder of Tron, H.E. Justin Sun, as well as the founder of blockchain.com, Mr. Peter Smith. We're going to sit back and watch this very interesting interview between these two incredibly successful entrepreneurs. And it's going to be pretty interesting as you watch this. You're going to be able to take a look at or take a peek inside how Justin got started in crypto and what led to him starting Tron. You can take a peek inside a day in his life and learn what that might be like. And then also you can get a glance at how Tron's organized and what happens here on a daily basis. Now, a couple of announcements before we get started. Be sure to check out trondao.org and follow us on our Twitter at TronDAO. We will have a number of announcements coming up this month, certainly related to our hackathon, which is now in season 3 and really coming off of season 2, where we had nearly 2,000 entries. We expect another really exciting season. So be sure to check those channels and watch for any announcements there. So with that, we can get underway and we can watch this very exciting interview between Justin and Peter. Again, be sure to watch and enjoy. Thank you.
All right. Hey there. Welcome to the blockchain.com podcast. My name is Peter Smith, co-founder and CEO of blockchain.com. At blockchain.com, we take token listings pretty seriously, striving to provide access to assets that meet our rigorous listing process. Once we list an asset, our goal is to help people better understand each token, including interviews with the teams that built them. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Justin Sun, the founder of Tron, the open source blockchain platform that can run smart contracts and be used for building decentralized applications. Tron was founded in 2017, and since then, Tronix, its native token, which is often abbreviated to TRX, has appreciated over 3,000%. With a market capitalization of over 5 billion USD today, TRX sits within the top 20 cryptocurrencies by market cap and is widely used around the world. One of the questions that we love to ask people when they first start at blockchain is how they made their first dollar or yen or pound when they get started as an entrepreneur. So, when you got started, how did you earn your first piece of cash?
Yes, sure. So I get into crypto industry around 2012. So at that time, when I read about Bitcoin, I think in 2012, then I doing a little bit research about Bitcoin. And then I find out actually there is arbitrage opportunity between local Bitcoin, so Bitcoin like OTC website and Taobao at that time. So in China, they haven't banned Bitcoin, so Bitcoin is available on Taobao because like some miners, they sell Bitcoin to pay electricity bill. So they sell Bitcoin actually in a very cheap price. Sometimes they're even like 30-40% price range you can arbitrage. So basically, I will buy Bitcoin on Taobao, and then I sell on localbitcoin.com. So that's like I think the first bucks I earned, and also the first time I get into crypto. I remember like when I start to earn some like serious money, right? I think every time I trade, I probably trade around 10K US dollar. So basically, I bought in Taobao and then sell in localbitcoin.com. And then I remember like when I meet with people like offline in United States, try to sell Bitcoin, and then they give me like all the all the cash stack, just like $20, make me feels like I'm doing like deals like Breaking Bad, They also have this kind of the cash deal. So I think it's a very funny experience to get into crypto by arbitrage, between like US and China at that time.
Yeah. I remember those days when some of the arbitrage opportunities are just massive. Like even
Yes.
between the exchanges,
Yes.
like between Mt. Gox and between Bitstamp
Yes.
and all that stuff. It was pretty
Exactly.
wild.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about how you go from arbitrage trader to, founding Tron, and what was the kind of original inspiration for Tron?
Yes, sure. So I think in 2012, I get into crypto, start to learn about crypto. And in 2013, I joined a company called OpenCoin. And then they later changed their name to Ripple Labs and then rebrand to Ripple. So I joined like Ripple in very early days. So that's how I start to like seriously get into crypto industry and start to trade crypto, build crypto. I think in 2013. So in 2014, so Ripple start to develop internally about a project called Oracle. So at that time, people start to discussing about the smart contract. So that's like how I learned smart contract concept in 2014. As we all know, Ethereum, Vitalik also start to talk about smart contract concept. And then later, of course, I think in 2015, they developed basically Ethereum in 2015. So, and later, even though, Ripple eventually didn't develop a smart contract platform at all. So they pivot to money transmission, right? So, but for me, I start to think about like, because at that time, Ethereum is based on proof of work. So I'm thinking about to create a new smart contract platform, which is based on proof of stake, which is far more efficient than Ethereum blockchain with a very low exchange fee. So that's like how I come up with the Tron idea. Because at that time, 2017, there is just a few choices for the market for developing on the smart contract. I think later in 2017, when we start to build the platform, we are kind of like compete with EOS at that time, right? So there's like two alternatives compared to Ethereum. With smart contract platform is EOS and Tron, so I think that's like how we start to attract users and the dApp developers, building on our blockchain, and after that, I think it has been 5 years.
Wow, time flies.
Yes.
And what's your role at Tron? Like, what is a normal day look like for Justin?
Yes. So I'm the founder of Tron. So when we first started the project, I think I designed the idea, designed the architect, hired the team, and also hire the community members, start from scratch, bootstrap the project. So right now, I think my normal days, I think, first of all, when I first get up, I will start to, I think, check emails, messages, and basically reply everything. And then after lunch, I will start to do some research, to read some news, and also to read about like team. They share some message to see like anything I can help everyone on the task they are doing. And then at night, I think I read books and news of the industry, and also, of course, I will do sometimes we do podcast, and also doing interview, and also, of course, I will hang out with my friends.
Nice.
Yes.
And like, tell me a little bit about the early days of Tron.
Yes.
Like, how different is what you're doing now from the early days of Tron?
Yes.
Now you guys have kind of achieved a lot of product market fit, but I imagine in the beginning it was a little different.
Yes. So I think around 2017, when we first launched Tron, basically the only usage for blockchain at that time is just for ICO fundraising. So Ethereum, there's a numerous amount of the project launch on Ethereum, all use ICO basically as a way to raising funds. I think Tron is also one of them. EOS, both EOS and Tron actually raising funds on Ethereum. So I think Tron and the EOS probably is one of the largest ICOs happened on Ethereum. Even though we didn't build on Ethereum at that time, but I think in terms of the amount we raising, EOS and Tron, I think is one of the largest project at that time on Ethereum. But actually, I think it's very hard to find product market fit at that time, because the only thing is ICO, right? So basically, it's still basically a project you can raising funds. So when we launched the mainnet in 2018, the whole market went to bear markets. So it's very hard for new projects to basically raising money, and also for developers to build on the blockchain. So that's at that time, our team, we started to thinking about what kind of the project we need to support to survive in the bear markets and really get usage in the bull markets. So at that time, I think one of the things, of course, I think we are very good at today is about stablecoin. So at that time, we are doing some research about the stablecoin in the markets, because I believe in the long term, people will start to use stablecoin rather than Bitcoin to trade crypto, right? So at that time, I think the most popular exchange is still Poloniex. So, but for Poloniex, I think most of the people is used to deposit Bitcoin into the exchange and trade other crypto. That's also how Binance, when they first built, is also using Bitcoin as a main trading tools to trade crypto. But I think in the future, people probably gonna will still use stablecoin. So that's why I contact Bitfinex. Of course, at that time they are developing on USDT. Even USDT is very small at that time. I think the total market cap around like $700 million, something like that. And also at that time, Tether is built on Omni. So Omni share the same layer with Bitcoin, so which is slow and expensive, and also it's have lots of burden on Bitcoin, right? So if everybody make transaction on USDT, it will even slow the Bitcoin transaction. So that's why we are starting to collaborate with Tether on develop USDT on Tron in 2019. So we finally finished the product and release and start to integrate with different exchange who support Omni and later, of course, Ethereum and also Tron network. So at that time, we started to build stablecoin. So later, we support USDT, USDC, TUSD. Today, we also develop USDT, USDJ. Basically, lots of stablecoin right today. But I think we really started our work in 2019. Of course, I think today Tron is one of the most famous stablecoin network in the world. It's kind of funny is when I first started in Ripple to develop, basically at that time we want to do a stablecoin transact network between banks, right? Eventually, I think Tron is doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's definitely when a lot of customers talk to us about wanting to use Tron. It's
Yes.
wanting to use stablecoins on Tron.
Yes,
because
exactly.
Tron is cheap and fast, and so we see a lot of that demand from customers,
Yes.
today.
Yes.
And what do you think? Like at the end of the day, what is Tron?
Yes.
We've talked a lot about people using it for stablecoin settlements. When you think about when you answer that question, what is Tron, the project today? What's the answer to that question for you?
Yes. If for today, I think Tron, I'm willing to talk about Tron is more like a stablecoin settlement network. If we want to be more generic, I think it's more like basically a global settlement layer, which Ethereum, I think, using in 2019 or something. So basically, we really want to become a network which can settle all the value, right? People will see us like a settlement network. They will settle all their transactions on the network, no matter it is stablecoin or cryptocurrency or securities, stock, bonds, everything. They basically can settle on the network.
Oh, got it. And how many people work on the project today?
Yes. So I think today, if you include all the projects and building on Tron, I think right now it's around 1,200 people total.
Wow.
I think work on all the product. And right now, Tron also we have different branches. So we have, of course, protocol layer, right? So we have protocol maintenance, and also we have stablecoin. So maintain different stablecoin stablecoin team, and also we have DeFi team. So building decentralized lending, trading, and also DeFi Lego, different DeFi Lego on Tron protocol. And also we have NFT division, so building all different kind of the NFT marketplace, and also NFT products. And also, of course, we have GameFi division. So building games on top of Tron network. So I think including everything together is like 100 and 200. Oh, sorry, 1,200 people.
Wow, that's a huge team.
Yes.
Why do you think it's important to have that big of a team?
Yes. So first of all, I think right now, since we, I think still blockchain is in a very early stage. So kind of like we don't know like which gonna become the big things in the future, right? So that's why I think stablecoin network itself, DeFi, NFT, GameFi, all possibly can become a big thing for the blockchain industry. So that's why I think basically we bet on everything. Of course, I think we didn't expect it. We're gonna be succeed in the everything we do. But I think we just try our best to develop the products, right? So which is very important for the customer. I think right now for the stablecoin and DeFi, we are doing the best. In terms of stablecoin and the DeFi, I think we are right now, all of them is number 2. For stablecoin, I think we are kind of like 40% around Ethereum traffic. But if you talk about like daily transaction volume, we are even more than Ethereum network. And for DeFi, right now, total TVL of Tron is around $6 to $7 billion. So we are also the number 2 largest DeFi network in the world. But for NFT and the GameFi, I think we still have a long way to go since it's only come up I think last year.
Yeah. You know, sometimes Tron is a controversial product, and project within the crypto community.
Yes.
What do you think is the reason for that controversy? What drives that? I mean, you've worked at a couple of controversial projects now. Ripple, used to have a lot of controversy. I don't know if anyone cares anymore.
Yes.
But how did Tron become controversial, and
Yes.
why is it today?
I think for Ripple, I think the controversy. I think all the controversies come from timing. So I will, if you, I want to draw a conclusion. So I think the Ripple, one of the biggest reason for Ripple be controversial at that time, is because when Ripple first developed in 2012 and 2013. Pre-mine is very controversial. So at that time, like all the crypto projects is all fair launch, right? Like Bitcoin, like Litecoin, everybody is doing like fair launch. But for Ripple is the first project, I think, raising funds from VC, and also they have like a huge amount of the token is pre-mine. I think at that time is 60%. Which I mean drive most of the I think critics and also controversy. I think because of this. But I think today, if you check like all the product like launched today, right? Most of them like reserve funds for the developer team, so which is very common these days. But I think in 2012, 2013. It is very controversial. I think for Tron is the same. So I think we have several things which I think is very controversial. We are the first product at that time as a competitive public blockchain to become competitive to Ethereum virtual machine. So today, I think it's become like very common, BSC, Avalanche, Polygon, everybody compatible to Ethereum virtual machine. But at that time, if you build a project compatible to Ethereum virtual machine, it's very controversial because people will say you just like copy Ethereum code, to use on your own like software. Even, we can argue this is actually even better for Ethereum because, we build Ethereum virtual machine standard to become like a market standards, right? But I think at that time, Ethereum maximalists, they don't think this way, right? They will attack our other competitive projects, basically saying like they are copy Ethereum technology. But I think later in 2020 and 21, it's become very common, right? Today, BSC, Polygon, Avalanche, all the blockchain I know, right, start to compatible with EVM. I think that's why, I think the industry is always evolve. It's kind of like the model standards is also evolve as well. So probably something you do at that time is super controversial, but after 3-5 years is probably become like less relevant anymore.
Yeah. As the founder of Tron, when you're trying to track the progress, what are the 3 or 4 core metrics that you're tracking closely to know if the project's successful or not?
Yes, I think, of course, I'm a data-driven person. We always tracking several data to see how the protocol works. I think first of all is the daily stablecoin transaction number. So for example, right, if you take like $1 transact to another people, we would take like $1 as a transaction volume today. I think right now our general number is around $7 billion to $15 billion. So depends on the market. So it's changed like all the time. And I track this number every day, to understand like how the market works. And right now, of course, I think we are also trying to grow like other stablecoin transaction other than Tether. So because right now Tether occupies like 90% of the volume, but what we want to be diversified in the future to have more USDC, TUSD, USDJ, USDD stablecoin transaction volume as well. And also we attract daily create accounts. So new daily create accounts, which is also very important. Right now, I think our daily new create accounts is around 100K to 150K. So also this is a very healthy number. So I think that's also a number I track every day. Ethereum, I think today is like the same level with us, with around like 100K growth of the new addresses. And also I attract the daily active addresses every day to see like how many people using Tron and what's the most like popular contract on Tron as well. Not only Tron network, I also track on Ethereum, to understand like what's today's most popular apps on Ethereum today, so we can know about how the industry doing. So I think that's like pretty much the data I track like every day.
So how many people are using Tron every day?
I think right now, I think right now it's 1.5 to 2 million every day. So so basically the definition is basically if you make one transaction, in the addresses, we count you as a daily active user. I think it's 2 million people, 1.5 to 2 million people every day. And total addresses we have today is around 110 million people. So Ethereum, I think, is around 200 million. So it's still 50% more than what we have. But I think we have confidence. We will grow the project in the future and see if we can catch up the Ethereum.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And where do you track these core metrics? Like if I want to track these metrics or somebody else listening to the podcast, where should they go to look at these?
Yes, so I use TronScan.org to track all the metrics. We also sponsor TronScan.org team to build the browser. And also, I think today they already built a very robust and good product. So if you want to track all the data, you can just basically read the API from TronScan.org, and they are building the product basically as data services. So everyone can feel free to track all the data and also do the analysis. We recently also just integrate with channel analysis. So there's lots of the third-party data analysis website right now is also integrated into Tron Network. So you can feel free to check the network activity every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else should we know about Tron, or what questions do you have for me?
Yes. So I want to also talk a little bit about the game. So we are developed right now. So recently we developed a horse racing game called Win FT Horse on Tron, and also a PvP battle game, Win FT Hero, on top of Tron blockchain. So these two games we all collaborate with Binance NFT. So if everybody interested in play games on the blockchain, happy to try on Binance website. You can buy the NFT and play the game. So the cost is very cheap. So every basically characters, if you buy, only cost you around $50 to $100. So it's a very cheap but a very fun game.
That's cool. And that's on the Binance NFT site.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. Any questions for me or anything else we should know about the Tron network?
Yes, I want to ask a little bit about blockchain.com. I know blockchain.com is like one of the earliest website in the industry. CZ is also work in blockchain.com before. So I want to know about like blockchain.com right now, the strategy and how to develop in the future.
Yeah. So we're still very focused on our original strategy, which is providing access to crypto for people. Yeah. So, we're a very different mission than like Tron, which is building a network. Our mission is to provide access to all of the networks. And so what that means is, how do we make crypto easy for people to use? And today we are about 30% of all the Bitcoin transactions in the world. Yes. And kind of similar numbers across other blockchains. Yes. And that really has just come out of that simple idea of, okay, people want to use crypto, but someone has to make it easy for them. Yes. And we do that for retail, and we do it for institutions now as well. So we have about 1,500 institutional clients all over the world as well. Yes. And we really do just see ourselves as a market access company. So we don't develop blockchains or tokens, we provide access to them.
Yes. Yes, I remember when blockchain.com like first develop like browser business. That's like the first like go-to website for me for Bitcoin transactions.
Yeah, a very long time ago, like 9 years ago now.
Yes, exactly. So that's like also like the first time I get into crypto in the first place.
Wow, that's cool.
And also at that time, I think most of the people don't even use the blockchain as a word to describe our industry. I think at that time it's like only Bitcoin, blockchain become like very popular words, I think in 2015 or 2016. Before that, I think people not even use blockchain to describe crypto in the first place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. People just talked about Bitcoin back then.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was just, back then there was just Bitcoin and OpenCoin.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yes. And most of people still trading crypto on Bitstamp and MTGOX.
Yeah, MTGOX, man.
Yes.
What do you think is going to happen with the crypto industry over the next year? Like, what's your outlook?
Yes, I think right now, since Federal Reserve still continue to hike, so I think we're still in kind of like a bear market. I think right now, probably I think it will continue in the next year. So I think probably we still need to continue to build and also continue to build a good product for our customer. Before we can experience crypto rally again. But I think this is a good time if you want to hire good people, basically build a good team and build a good product. I think this is still a very good time to do that. Since most of the good product in DeFi and NFT all been built in 2019 and 2020. So that's why I think right now is a good time for investment to build product.
Yeah, it's definitely a build season.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Justin, I really appreciate your time today, and I think our listeners are going to really enjoy learning about Tron.
Yes.
Where can we follow you to learn more about Tron
Yes.
and about what you're working on?
Yes, please follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is Justin Sang Tron, and also feel free to visit tron.network and tron.org. We have all the hackathon activities on our website and my Twitter.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you making time to be on the podcast, and hope you have a great evening.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.